If your conditional formatting falls apart the moment you copy a sheet, you're not alone. The usual symptom is simple. Rules turn into a mess of wrong ranges, broken references, or duplicate rules that slow the file down. What you really want is one set of rules that stays consistent across many sheets, even when you duplicate, rename, or add new tabs. And you want it without babysitting the rule manager every time. The key is to stop thinking in terms of copy formatting and start thinking in terms of design one rule that is portable. That means choosing the right type of reference, applying the rule to the right scope, and using formulas that survive sheet changes. In the next few minutes, you'll get a clean mental model for how Excel stores conditional formatting, why copy-paste breaks it, and a few reliable patterns you can reuse. Once you set it up this way, your workbook becomes easier to extend and the rules stay predictable. Next step. Let's start with why this breaks. Conditional formatting is not just color on cells. It's a rule object with three parts: a formula or condition, a formatting style, and an applies to range. When you copy a sheet, Excel tries to adjust those parts automatically. Sometimes that adjustment helps. But when the rule uses mixed references, external sheet references, or inconsistent ranges, Excel can duplicate the rule instead of extending it. That's when you open the rules list and see the same rule repeated 10 times, each pointing to a slightly different range. Performance drops, and editing becomes risky because you're never sure which rule is actually winning. Another common failure is relative references shifting in ways you didn't intend. A rule that was meant to compare a row value to a threshold cell suddenly compares to the wrong cell after a copy. So the root cause is not copying itself. The root cause is rules that are not designed to be copied safely. Next step. Before building anything, decide what across multiple sheets means for your workbook. There are two common setups. First, you have many sheets with the same layout, like monthly tabs, regions, or team members. Second, you have a template sheet that you duplicate whenever you need a new one. In both cases, the layout consistency is your best friend. If the same columns mean the same thing everywhere, you can write a single rule formula that depends only on the current sheet's cells, not on the sheet name. That's the big unlock. Avoid hard-coding sheet names inside conditional formatting formulas. As soon as a rule says something like sheet 1 $B $2, copying becomes fragile because the new sheet still points back to sheet 1. So your target is a rule that reads like, on this sheet, if this row's value meets this condition, format this row. If you keep it self-contained, Excel can copy it cleanly. Next step. Now let's lock in the reference basics that make or break conditional formatting. In a conditional formatting formula, Excel evaluates the formula for the top left cell of the applies to range, then fills that logic across the rest of the range. That means relative references are powerful, but only if you anchor the right parts. A common pattern is lock the column, let the row move. For example, D2 refers to column D, but the row changes as the rule evaluates each row. That's perfect for row-based logic. Another pattern is lock a single threshold cell, like $1, so every row compares to the same value. If you forget the dollar signs, the threshold walks as the rule fills, and your highlights look random. So when you build multi-sheet rules, you usually want relative row references for the data and absolute references for control cells. Get that right, and copying sheets becomes far less risky. Next step. Here's a reliable pattern for identical layouts. Create one rule using use a formula to determine which cells to format, and make the applies to range match the full block you want on every sheet. The formula should reference only cells in the same row on the same sheet. Example logic sounds like this. Highlight the entire row if status equals late. Your formula is tied to the status column in that same row, and your applies to range covers all the columns you want colored. The key is that the formula references one column, while the applies to covers the whole row band. That way you don't need separate rules per column. When you duplicate a sheet, Excel copies one clean rule. The references stay internal. The range stays consistent. And you can edit the rule once per sheet without hunting through duplicates. This is the baseline approach. Most workbooks should start here before reaching for more complex tricks. Next step. To make this even more robust, Use named ranges or structured references when you can. A named range can represent a threshold cell, a list of valid statuses, or even the main data area. The advantage is readability and stability. If the threshold cell moves, you update the name once, not every rule. For tables, structured references can help too, because they follow the table as it expands. If each sheet has a table with the same name, conditional formatting can reference that table's columns in a consistent way. The trade-off is that table naming must be disciplined. If one sheet's table is called Table 1 and another is Table 7, your formulas won't be consistent. A practical middle ground is name the key control cells, like threshold, target month, or max days. Then your conditional formatting formula reads like a sentence. That makes auditing and troubleshooting much easier later. Names don't fix every issue, but they reduce the number of fragile cell addresses in your rules. Next step. Now let's tackle the big question. Can one conditional formatting rule apply to multiple sheets at once? Excel doesn't give you a simple Apply to Workbook button, but there is a workable concept, grouping sheets. When you select multiple sheets as a group, edits you make, like creating a conditional formatting rule, are applied to all group sheets in the same cell addresses. This is perfect when the layout is identical. You set the rule once, and every selected tab receives the same rule, with the same Applies to range. The important caution is to ungroup afterward. Staying grouped can cause accidental edits across many sheets, so treat grouping like a temporary broadcast mode. This method avoids copy-paste entirely. You're not duplicating rules, you're creating them consistently across tabs. If you're maintaining a workbook with many existing sheets, grouping is often the fastest cleanup move. Build the correct rule once, push it to all, and then verify the Applies to ranges are identical. Next step. Another common breaking point is when your Applies to range is too specific. If it's locked to a fixed number of rows, new data won't be formatted. If it's different on each sheet, Excel may duplicate rules during copy operations. You have a few solid options. One is to apply the rule to entire columns, like A:(K), and then add logic that ignores blank rows. That keeps the rule future-proof, but it can be heavier on performance in very large sheets. A second option is to apply to a defined range that you regularly extend, like A2K 5000. This is simpler and often faster. A third option is using an Excel table, so the Applies to follows the table size. That's usually the cleanest for ongoing lists. Whichever you choose, the goal is consistency. The same Applies to shape on every sheet. Consistency is what prevents rule duplication and weird priority conflicts. Next step. Let's talk about priority, because multi-sheet conditional formatting often fails quietly due to rule order. Excel evaluates conditional formatting rules in order. If two rules both apply, the lower rule can override the higher one, unless stop if true is used. Across many sheets, the problem is that rule order drifts. You copy a sheet, add a new rule, and suddenly the late highlight overrides the high priority highlight, or the other way around. A clean approach is to define a small rule stack and keep it identical everywhere. For example, first, error states. Second, critical thresholds. Third, informational highlights. Then, decide where stop if true makes sense, typically for the strongest states, like errors. Also, avoid creating multiple rules that format the same property, like fill color, unless you really need them. That's where confusion starts. If you standardize rule order, troubleshooting becomes straightforward. You can predict which rule wins without guessing. Next step. Sometimes you truly need cross-sheet logic, like highlighting values that don't match a master list on a separate sheet. This is where people accidentally create fragile rules. The trick is to reference stable named ranges, not specific sheet cells. For example, if you have a master list of valid project codes, put that list in one place and name it something like valid codes. Then your conditional formatting can use a lookup style test against valid codes. The formula stays readable, and it doesn't care where the list physically sits. If you must reference another sheet directly, be consistent and deliberate. Keep the external references absolute, and avoid referencing the current sheet name inside the formula. Also note a limitation. Some functions are less reliable in conditional formatting, and volatile functions can slow things down. So prefer simple checks like COUNTIF against a named list. Cross-sheet rules can work well, but only when the dependency is stable and centralized. Next step. Now let's address the template workflow because it's the most common real-world case. You build one perfect sheet, then duplicate it for each month or client. The goal is that conditional formatting stays correct without any edits. For templates, the best practice is to keep all control inputs in a dedicated area, like a small settings block at the top, and reference those cells absolutely. Then keep all row logic relative. That way, each new sheet carries its own settings and its own data logic. Also, avoid linking a template sheet to a central settings sheet unless you truly need global control. Global control sounds convenient, but it creates hidden dependencies. If someone edits the central sheet, every tab changes. If you do need global control, use named ranges and document them. Make it obvious which values are global and which are local. A good template is boring in the best way. It behaves the same every time you copy it. Next step. If your workbook is already messy, you need a cleanup strategy that doesn't make things worse. Start by deciding what the correct rule set is for one sheet. Not 5 sheets, 1. Then remove duplicates on that sheet, so you have a single clean version of each rule. Next, standardize the applies to ranges. This is where most duplicates come from. 2 rules with the same logic, but different ranges will multiply over time. Once one sheet is clean, use grouped sheets to push the corrected rules to other tabs with the same layout. This avoids copy-paste and keeps rule order consistent. After that, spot check a few sheets. Confirm the ranges match, confirm the priority order matches, and confirm the formula references are behaving as intended. Finally, set a simple maintenance rule. If you add new conditional formatting, add it on the template sheet first. Then distribute it intentionally, not accidentally. Next step. One more thing that matters with multi-sheet conditional formatting is performance. Conditional formatting recalculates when cells change, and if you apply rules to huge ranges across many sheets, Excel can feel sluggish. To keep things fast, limit the applies to range to what you need. If your data realistically goes to row 2000, don't format to row 1,000,000. Also, avoid overly complex formulas. If you can replace a multi-step calculation with a helper column that outputs a simple true or false, conditional formatting becomes much lighter. Be careful with volatile functions like indirect and offset. They recalculate often and can slow large workbooks. They also tend to be fragile in copied sheets. A practical approach is simple formula, consistent range, minimal rule count. If you keep the rule count low and the formula is simple, the workbook stays responsive even with many tabs. Stability is not just correctness, it's also speed and maintainability. Next step. Let's wrap this into a repeatable checklist you can use on any workbook. First, keep conditional formatting formulas self-contained per sheet whenever possible. Second, anchor references intentionally. Absolute for settings, relative for row logic. Third, standardize the applies to range so it's identical across tabs with the same layout. Then, choose your distribution method. If you're creating new sheets, build a copy-safe template and duplicate it. If you're fixing existing sheets, group them and create the rules once across the group. For cross-sheet validation, centralize lists and thresholds using named ranges and keep the formulas simple. And finally, control rule priority with a consistent rule stack so the same conditions win everywhere. If you want one action to take next, pick your most important highlight, late items, missing data, out-of-range numbers, and rebuild that as a single portable rule. That one change usually eliminates most of the chaos. If you found this useful, subscribe for more Excel systems that stay clean as your workbook grows. And comment with your workflow. Do you prefer a single template sheet or grouped sheet edits? Small tweaks compound into massive performance gains. Subscribe to catch the next workflow optimization.